Here we are in the penultimate translation from stage 6 of Cambridge Latin, so it's the next to last. And it's called Felix et Fur, which means Felix and the thief. So let's go ahead and translate it, and we'll keep up our brisk pace. So, post cenam quintus rogavit, pater cur Felix nunc est libertus. So this first bit right here is post cenam, and that's a prepositional phrase, and it's a post plus accusative. We haven't seen this before, but it's still an accusative of orientation. It's an orientation in time, though. And it literally, it post means behind or after. So in this case, it is after dinner because it's after the time of dinner. So post cenam, after dinner, quintus, nominative subject, rogavit, perfect tense verb. After dinner, Quintus asked. And what did he ask? Pater. This is evocative because he's directly addressing his father, third declension. Cur, we've got our question word there. Why? Felix, nominative subject. Nunc, adverb, now. Est, main verb, present tense. Libertus, predicate nominative because that linking verb, est right there. A freeman. So let's translate that all together. After dinner, Quintus asked, Father, why is Felix now a freeman? Olim erat servus tuus. Olim is another adverb. It means once upon a time or once. Erat is an imperfect form of sum. It means was. Servus tuus is your slave. Tuus is a, they're both nominatives. Tuus is a possessional pronoun. So possessive pronoun. And servus is obviously the noun that it's modifying. And it's in the nominative because erat is a linking verb. So it's the implied subject is he. He was your slave. All right, so once he was your slave is the full sentence. Tum pater totam remuneravit. Tum is at this point going to be, it can either be an adverb or a conjunction, and it means then. So then, pater, nominative subject, totam rem, that's the accusative direct object. Remember, rem is the noun, and totam is the adjective, and narawit is the perfect tense verb. Remember, we said that rem means thing, but we're going to translate it however it best fits in the context. So in this case, we'll say story. So then the father narrated the whole story. Caecilius says this, Felix olem in tablino scribebat. So Felix, nominative subject, olem, adverb, in tablino, locatival ablative, second declension nominative, second declension ablative, neuter, scribebat, imperfect tense. So Felix once was writing in the study. All right. Felix erat solos. Erat is imperfect, and it's linking these two nominatives. Right. Felix was alone. Clemens et grumio cibum in foro quaerebant. So Clemens and grumio are the two nominative subjects. They're joined together by this et. Cibum is the direct object. In foro is that locatival prepositional phrase. And forum is a second declension neuter. Quaerebant is an imperfect plural, and it's looking for. So Clemens and grumio were looking for food in the forum, or they were seeking. They went out to buy food, is what it's getting at. Metella aberat. And metella is the subject. Aberat is an imperfect form of ab plus est. So remember, ab est means to be away. So ab erat means was away. So metella was away, quod, and we know that quod is a subordinating conjunction introducing an adverbial clause. And what kind of adverbial clause is it? Well, it means because, so therefore it's a causal clause. Metella was away because sororum, accusative direct object, visitabat, imperfect tense verb, because she was visiting her sister. So Metella was away because she was visiting her sister. And I've added a her in there, just so it sounds good in English. Felix then says, Pater tuus aberat quod argentarium in foro administrabat. So pater tuus is the nominative subject. Tuus is a possessive pronoun, so it's your father. Aberat, imperfect form of absum, it means away. Your father was away. Quod, another causal clause, because. Administrabat, imperfect tense verb, he was administrating. Argentarium, accusative direct object, the bank. In foro, in the forum. Locatival ablative, prepositional phrase. So your father was away because he was managing the bank in the forum. Caecilius then says, Nemo erat in villa nisi Felix et infans. So Nemo is the subject in its third declension. It means no one. We've mentioned this before. No one, erat, imperfect form of sum, was, in wila, locatival ablative, prepositional phrase, in the house. And then nisi literally means if not, but here it'll be mean except or but for. Felix et infans. And these are both in the nominative because they are acting as the subject. So no one except for these two were in the house. So no one except for Felix and the infant were in the house. The grammar of this is a little bit more complex than I'm saying right here. This is technically a separate clause, but don't worry about it for right now. We'll just translate it like that, and you don't have to worry about the grammar too much. Parvus infans in cubiculo dormiebat. A small child in the bedroom was sleeping. So parvus infans is the nominative subject. Parvus is the adjective. It means small. It's modifying infans, which is third declension. And they're both masculine. In cubiculo is locatival ablative prepositional phrase. Dormiebat is an imperfect tense verb. So a small infant was sleeping in the bedroom. Cubiculum is a nominative, or no, sorry, it's an ablative neuter second declension. I keep saying nominative instead of neuter. I don't know why. Subito for per januum intrabit. Subito is an adverb. It means suddenly. For is the nominative subject. It's a third declension nominative subject. Per januam, and that is an accusative of extent. Per usually takes accusative of extent, so it means through the door. Intravit, perfect tense verb, entered. So suddenly a thief entered through the door. For tacite atrium circumspectavit, nominative subject, adverb, accusative direct object, perfect tense verb. The thief quietly looked around the atrium. Tacite cubiculum intravit. Another adverb, accusative direct object, perfect tense verb. Quietly, he entered the bedroom. And then the bedroom, and then this is another adverbial phrase, and it's going to indicate location. And this is ubi, meaning not when, but where. So it's where the infant was. So nominative subject, imperfect tense verb. So it's another subordinate clause. So quietly, he entered the bedroom where the child was. All right, and erat is an imperfect form of sum. Felix nihil audivet. Felix heard nothing. Accusative direct object of audivet. And nihil doesn't look like ordinary accusatives because it's what's called indeclinable. It doesn't change its form pretty much depending on what's doing. It has a couple of forms. Most of the time it doesn't. So Felix is the subject, nihil is the direct object, audivet is a perfect tense verb. And then we've got here quod indicates another adverbial causal clause because intente adverb laborabat. Intently, he was working. So Felix heard nothing because he was working intently. Imperfect tense verb there, by the way. Fur parvum infantum et vila tacite portabat. So the nominative subject, accusative direct object. Here's our accusative noun, infantum, and here's our accusative adjective, parvum. Now, infantum is third declension, parvum is second declension, but they're both masculine. A vila is a prepositional phrase with an ablative, and it's a ablative of separation, so it means from. Tacite is an adverb, quietly. Portabat means was carrying. So the thief was carrying the small child quietly from the house or out of the house. Subito, adverb, infans, nominative subject, third declension, wagawit. And that means it's a perfect tense verb, and it means he cried. So suddenly the child cried. Felix, postquam clamorum audivit, statim aetiblino festinavit. So Felix, nominative subject, postquam introduces a temporal clause, another adverbial clause, means after. Clamorum is the accusative direct object inside this clause. Audivit is the perfect tense verb. Statim is an adverb that goes with the main clause. Aetiblino is another prepositional phrase that is indicating separation. And festinavit is a perfect tense verb. So this means Felix, after he heard the clamor, the shout, the noise, immediately hurried out of the study. Forcifer clamavit Felix iratus, et forum ferociter pulsavit. So forcifer is going to be a vocative because he's directly addressing him. Clamavit is a perfect tense verb. Felix iratus is the nominative subject. Iratus, by the way, is the adjective describing Felix. Et is a conjunction that's joining clamavit to the next verb, both of which have Felix as the subject. Forum is the accusative direct object of this next verb. Förocketer is an adverb. We can tell because that ter, and pulsawet is another perfect tense verb. So what this means is thief, exclaimed the angry Felix, and he fiercely punched the thief. Felix forum paine nakawet. Nominative subject, accusative direct object, adverb, perfect tense verb. Felix nearly killed the thief. Okay. So, ita, Felix parum infantem ser vabit. Ita is an adverb. It means thus. Felix is our nominative subject. Parum infantem is our direct object. Obviously, infantem is the noun. Parum is the adjective. And servavit is a perfect tense verb. So this means, therefore, or thus, in this way, Felix saved the small child. Felix says, Dominus postquam rem audivit erat laetus et me liberavit. So the subject is Dominus, the master. And then we have in these commas right here is another adverbial clause that is temporal, and it's after. It's our subordinating conjunction. Rem, and this is the accusative direct object. Audivit, perfect tense verb. Erat is our first main verb, and it's linking Dominus to laetus, which is our predicate adjective. Et is a conjunction. It's linking it's linking erat to liberavit. So there's two main verbs in here, and both of them have Dominus as the subject. Me is the accusative direct object. It's a personal pronoun, and the accusative and liberavit is a perfect tense verb. So this means the master, after he heard the thing, or after he heard the story, was happy and freed me. Ego igitur sum libertus. Ego is a personal pronoun. Igitur is an adverb. Sum is a present tense linking verb. And libertus is that nominative predicate. It's a predicate nominative. So I, therefore, am a freedman. Quintus said quis erat infans. And said is a conjunction. And quis is an interrogative pronoun, means who. Erat is an imperfect form of sum. And infans is going to be a predicate nominative introduced by that erat. So quis and infans are linked together by that. And it means, but who was the child? And Quintus, this should be Felix right here, says, erat Quintus. This is the imperfect tense verb, and Quintus is the predicate nominative. And it means it was Quintus. So he's basically, the way that Felix got his freedom was he saved little baby Quintus before he was an alcoholic from a thief. Alrighty, so that is the end of this translation. There's one more for the stage. I will see you there.